We are live with Bela Fleck. And how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And you're going to play a few songs for us. You were just playing one that sounded like it could be good.
Oh, we'll try that one maybe.
All right, cool. Would you tell us about it?
Should we play it and then see if or should we tell everybody what it is?
Why don't you play it and then we'll see if maybe if you're watching on Facebook, why don't you try to guess what it is? It may or may not be recognizable.
That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tell them what it is.
Okay.
Oh, it's my phone. Just ignore that. It's part of the music. It's part of the deal. It's a minor key version of the Star Spangled Banner that I was just screwing around with. Let's see if I can play it. It's probably my family. We could put them on TV. Thanks, thank you. It's a footnote because last night I played at a Knicks game and played the normal version.
Okay, well, earlier I heard that it was a darker. So you played it in the major key last night.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I thought you had taken the minor key version to the Knicks game.
No, because nobody never knows what it is.
Okay. Still, that would have been kind of like a fun trolling exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have gotten booed.
Possibly. Well, how was it being playing at the Knicks?
It was
game?
surreal. It was very strange.
Have you opened for a sports team?
I never
before?
have. I never have.
How did this fall in?
I've never been
how
much
did
of a
this fall in your
sports
lap?
guy. As I grew up here in New York City, and when I was in high school, I tried out for basketball, but they told me that they already had one.
I just got that.
Awkward enough?
How many times?
There was some real great people in sports, and I couldn't even get started yet.
Yeah, well.
So then I got into banjo, and that was my sport.
Yeah. I can relate to the problems with the basketball. I mean, it sounds like you actually wanted to play basketball.
Well, I never really got the chance. It was really
Yeah.
so dominated by people that were awesome at it, and they didn't really want to have us chubby little white kids play. So I went and studied something else. Yeah.
I have really negative gym jock memories
Yeah, I do
surrounding
too.
basketball.
Yeah, it was kind of awful actually.
A lot of the girls and boys used to tell me to get in the game and get in the game because I would just sort of start to drift out, in the outer circle.
Well, at least you were in the game.
Only in gym class it was mandatory. It wasn't by choice. But I admire your wherewithal.
How about the one where they tell you to climb the rope, like with no instruction? Climb the rope, just
For the presidential, not for the presidential, I almost said the presidential election, but I don't really know what the categories or the standards or how they measured that. They just call it the presidential something or another, and you're like, I'm climbing this rope for the president.
Right.
Like, sure.
Yeah, what's he doing for me?
Yeah, well.
That's another conversation.
That's another conversation. Anyhow, you have another one for us?
Probably do. I probably do. Shall I just play something?
Sure. You can choose. You can tell us a
Can I
little
tell you
about
afterwards?
it. Yeah,
'Cause I don't know
that's
what
even better.
I might just start improvising and see what I end up
Improvising
in.
is great.
Then I'll cop out when I run out of ideas and play something I know.
Awesome.
That's what came out.
That was great.
Thank you.
What could you
Disjointed
tell us?
thinking, volume 1.
Nice. When you're improvising, where does your mind tend to go? Like what thoughts tend to inspire which sounds?
Well, that's like there's like you start doing something and it starts sounding good to you, and then you go like, well, I better do something else. And then you go do something else and you go, well, how am I going to make that work? And like this unconscious stuff starts to take over if you're lucky, and things just start to happen. It's a combination of like being gently led in a meditation or something. Like if you try to be too forceful with it, it'll get stuck and stopped. But if you stay really open and sort of gently suggest, your brain can sort of gently suggest directions to try, and sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't.
We got a pretty good question here.
Yeah.
From Mark Weston, and he asks, from your perspective, how do you think J.S. Bach impacted banjo?
Oh, how did he impact banjo? Boy, it's great music. He just impacted music in general. It's hard to find music that wasn't affected by Bach until you get out into, regional music. More and more, we're seeing a lot of people learning to play Bach on the banjo. It used to be very, very unusual. There's no direct influence on, traditional bluegrass banjo, except that it just exists in the same world that it came from.
I hadn't realized that that banjo players were playing Bach, and then I quickly did a Google while you were playing and saw that there are actually a lot of videos online about
and it's pretty much like now, the younger players who are strong technically will each kind of find their Bach thing that no one else has done. Like I found mine. Tony Trischka had some that he did, and try to differentiate yourself from everybody else, because it impacts your playing. Like learning one piece can teach you so many things about the neck of the banjo. If you can find a way to play it, you can use those techniques in a lot of other music.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you have one more for us today.
Yeah, maybe I'll play a little Bach leading into something else. Mike Rupich. Thank you.
Was that Brubeck?
Mike Drupage.
Drubid.
Or the mic. I was catching the microphone on my.
I thought I heard Brubeck, and I was like, Brubeck?
Yeah, no, it's a new technique. All banjo players have to know how to do that, as well as Bach, which is if the mic is about to fall on the floor, you stop it with your leg while still improvising.
Well, that was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was some Bach. Is that right? Yeah, some Bach, and then a piece called Sinister Minister
I recognize that.
that I done with the Flecktones.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, you're heading out with the Flecktones again.
Yeah,
is
we're
that
going to do
right?
some stuff in August. Don't do that at home. Yeah. But before that, I'll be out with Abigail starting on the day after tomorrow, doing a nice tour of the Northeast, mostly a couple of Southern dates. And yeah, playing
Great.
some with Chris Thiele, and then to Korea, in Europe. So it's fun this next time period. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds like it. Well, thank you for being here with us. What
My
a
pleasure.
nice way to end the day.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Yeah, and yeah, come back anytime.
Okay, I'll leave my banjo here.
Okay.